Hi, I'm Joshua Miner. I am the music and sound supervisor here at Ghostview Studios.
Hey folks, I'm David Mai, and I'm the animation director here at Ghostview Studios.
I'm Matthew Cook. I'm head of the art department here for Ghostview Studios.
Ghostview Studios is an animation production company based in Lawrence, Kansas. As our resident animation supervisor, animation director, do you want to tell the folks at home what Ghostview is?
So the process of seeing a frame before and after when you're animating, just so you can get the flow, get the feel of the movement.
I think there's a lot to it. I think it's got purchase.
I like that connection that it makes to the process of animation too.
Yeah.
It's putting a focus on that, and especially the sort of spirit aspect of it is, when you're watching a movie and you're getting this ephemeral feeling from the experience of the story and getting involved in it, and it's this thing that is an experience more than just a simple exercise in something.
Yeah, that we had this vision that kind of developed a little bit organically in the beginning for how to put together a studio in a way that lifted up and honored all the aesthetics with their own integrity in the space. That's been true of the films that that I wrote, and I know true of the project we have on deck with David.
There's going to be a lot of range in the type of storytelling that is produced. It's going to be unique to see different perspectives.
You know each other well enough to be like, hey, I have a question about this, will you be able to help me? You feel like what you're getting from the studio is what you're putting into it.
I like that everything that we do directly translates to being in the film, and once the film's all together, I can say I did this shot, I did that shot, I designed that character.
And it always makes me so happy of wow, eventually I'll get to animate these characters, how exciting.
It's not a very traditional pipeline for animation, but I think it's still giving us a lot of room for creativity and collaboration.
Everything has been truly an amalgamation of everyone's own experiences coming in to one big studio, which I think is really interesting and also really cool.
I just really value the input of students. The students that show up here and put time in, not just to be here, but to invest themselves, I see them as creative voices in these projects too. When they watch these movies on screen, I want them to see their own creative work in those spaces.
And you often don't get that kind of environment in different studio systems, and then you don't really get a creative voice in the process.
When you're making a film, when you're doing cinema in general, when you're doing a live action film, you point the camera because you're pointing it at the real world. Everything is already there for you. Everything is kind of built. All of that stripped away. Everything has to get designed from the floor up. And I think that's just such a cool creative challenge of having to come up with all of those different things.
There's kind of this misconception about animation being a children's medium. We can't aim for everybody, but we still want to be able to engage, but be very specific with our art form.
Please support us any way that you can, especially when we do have our premieres or even when we get the teasers out.
Look out for Onetta at your local film festival.